You might notice as you listen that some words feel familiar, words you've heard before, words you've felt deep inside, perhaps even in a place where trust once lived, where belief was unshakable. Maybe that place feels distant now, or maybe it's still just a breath away, waiting for the moment when you decide it's time to let go. And as you breathe, you realise, just for a moment, letting go isn't about forgetting. No, it's about releasing the weight of something that no longer serves you. Because sometimes the weight of disappointment can be so heavy. It keeps you anchored in one place. But what if you could shift just a little, so you could feel lighter, freer? You see, what you experienced, the betrayal, the loss of trust, all of that is part of your story. But the story doesn't have to stay stuck where it is. It can evolve, just like a great novel, where each chapter builds on the last. Even the chapters of disappointment. And as you move forward, you get to write those moments into something new, something that empowers you. Now imagine for a moment what it might feel like in this very moment if you began to realise something new. That trust isn't something lost, it's something discovered. And sometimes, discovery of trust begins within yourself. Just notice that for a second. Feel the truth of this. That even though you've been hurt, even though things have fallen apart in the past, that's not all there is. Your ability to trust others, to forgive, to heal, it's already within you. It's always been within you. You might have forgotten it for a while, but now you're remembering. What if you could change that belief? What if you could see people as not just people who hurt you, but as human beings, capable of growth, capable of change, and capable of showing you trust, in the same way you're learning to trust yourself again. You know, sometimes it's not about waiting for others to prove themselves. It's about feeling into what you already know about your own strength. Imagine, just imagine, knowing, no matter what happens outside you, you've already learned to navigate the deepest waters. And as you move forward, the next step isn't about waiting to be let down. It's about choosing to trust yourself, to choose your response, and in doing so, naturally opening up the space for others to meet you where you are. And as you think about this new possibility, consider how easy it can be to gently release the need to expect betrayal, the need to stay on guard. Imagine you're able to relax just a little more, to trust that you can trust again. Not because of others, but because of who you are and what you've learned. Now let's notice something interesting. Trust isn't a one-way street, is it? It's flow, it shifts, it ebbs and it grows. But what if you were the one who decided that trust could flow freely, starting from the inside and then rippling outward into the world around you? What if the trust radiated from within and suddenly you found yourself open to receiving the trust that others naturally wanted to share with you? And in this new way of seeing things, where trust doesn't have to be earned in the way it once was, you may begin to notice when you do trust, it feels different. You may even realise there are people around you quietly showing you their trust in ways that don't always need grand gestures. And sometimes trust is small, quiet, it's subtle, like a smile, a shared moment. It's there, even if you don't always recognise it in the way you once expected. What if you could forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace? What if forgiving isn't about letting off the hook, but letting yourself go free? Think about that for a moment. Forgiveness is like the key that unlocks a door you thought was closed forever. And the best part, you're the one who holds the key. And what if by choosing to forgive, by choosing to open that door, you let the past become the past, leaving behind only the lesson, the wisdom, the growth, and the strength that you've carried with you all this time? And now, as you feel the shift inside, it might surprise you how easy it is to start seeing things differently, to see people differently, to see yourself as someone who's learned and grown, who doesn't need to carry the weight of the past any longer. Instead, you begin to step into this new way of being, one where trust is no longer a prison, but an open field where you can move, breathe, and grow freely. Imagine that. Breathe it in. Let it settle deep within your unconscious mind. You might even find, with each breath, you naturally feel more open, more trusting, not only of others but of yourself, of your own decisions, your own ability to heal, to forgive, and to move forward in new ways. Isn't it interesting how easy it can be? Once you decided to let go of the past and embrace the power that comes from within. And now, as you reflect on the past, you may realize those moments of pain, those moments of loss, they no longer have the same hold over you. They're just a part of a larger story, a story you're still writing, with new chapters, new opportunities, and new beliefs. Because you've learned, you've grown, and you're moving forward stronger than before. And as you continue listening, you may begin to notice something interesting happening, almost imperceptible yet powerful. Because in this moment, you're beginning to realize the world, it doesn't have to remain the same. And your experience of the world, how you see others, how you see yourself, it's entirely up to you. And sometimes it's in the smallest shift, the smallest change in perception that can make all the difference. In fact, just by allowing yourself to open to this, you might begin to notice a new sense of ease, a feeling of comfort, a gentle acceptance, as if you're beginning to let go of all the heavy weight you've carried. All the memories of being hurt, of being let down, they fade into the background, because now you're beginning to understand something deeper. You see, those past moments of betrayal, they don't define you. Not at all. They were just moments, fleeting moments, in a long and unfolding journey. And now you're beginning to see the bigger picture. What if right now you could see these past experiences? They're simply invitations to discover your own strength, to find the parts of you that were always capable of trusting, always capable of healing. Imagine how it would feel to know that the wounds, the pain, they don't last forever. And as you breathe in, you can feel it's easier to let go of any remaining doubts. You can feel that sense of releasing, letting the weight of the past gently drift away, leaving room for something more expansive, more powerful. Now consider the true power of trust lies not in others but in yourself. Because trust isn't something you have to wait for someone to give you. No, trust, it's something you can choose to embody, to invite into your life. Every moment of every day, what if you could trust? You're always moving towards the highest good. And every step you take, even when it feels uncertain, is leading you towards greater clarity, greater understanding, greater freedom. It's interesting. The more you let go of the past, the more you realize how much lighter you feel, how much more open you become to new possibilities. Just notice as you think about it. Because what if this very moment, right here, could be the turning point for you? What if this is when you decide that you're ready to let go of the belief that people will betray you, and instead you can trust yourself to handle anything that comes your way? Imagine trusting yourself so completely. No matter what happens, you know you have everything you need within you. Imagine no longer fearing the worst, but instead being open to the best possibilities, knowing you have the strength to handle whatever comes next. It's like stepping into a new way of being, a way where you're fully in charge, fully empowered, and fully free to experience life on your own terms. As you continue to open to these new possibilities, something remarkable happens, doesn't it? You begin to see people not through the lens of fear and mistrust, but through the lens of understanding. People are not perfect, no one is, and yet by trusting yourself first. You find your trust in others becomes something natural, something effortless. As you trust more, you allow others to show you their true selves. Sometimes it's in the small, subtle moment to show the deepest trust, like a quiet gesture, a kind word, a smile that says more than words could ever express. And so, it's not about waiting for people to prove themselves to you. It's about realizing you already know how to trust. You trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, trust in others comes naturally. It's as if your very presence, your very energy, begins to invite trust, invite openness. You might begin to notice how people respond to this new way of being. How your presence, your calm, your groundedness allows others to feel safe, to feel comfortable, to trust in you. What's truly powerful about this process is it doesn't require you to be perfect. It doesn't require you to know every answer or have everything figured out. It simply requires you to trust the process of growth, the process of healing, and the natural unfolding that's already happening within you. All along, this new way of trusting, of forgiving, has been waiting for you to notice it, to choose it. And now, in this moment, you're choosing to see yourself as the person who can trust again, who can forgive, and who can move forward in an entirely new way. Now just think about how that feels. Imagine for a moment the trust becomes easy for you. Imagine every time that you meet someone, you don't feel guarded, but instead you feel open, relaxed, grounded. You've released the fear, the doubt, the anxiety. Now trust flows naturally from you, and it comes back to you. And even if things don't unfold the way you expect them to, you know deep inside, you have everything you need to handle it. You've got this. And as you continue this journey, you might realize the beliefs you once held about people, those beliefs about betrayal and mistrust, they're simply stories. Stories that no longer serve you. And now, as you let them go, as you replace them with something new, something empowering, you find your capacity to connect, to love, to trust, grow stronger every day. And isn't it interesting that this change can happen so effortlessly, as if it's always been a part of you, just waiting to be remembered? You may even feel a sense of peace, a deep, calm knowing that your trust is not fragile. It's not something that can be broken easily. It's a trust that comes from within. It's steady, it's strong, it's unshakable. And with this trust comes freedom. The freedom to forgive, to let go of past hurts, to release all the old stories that no longer serve you. The freedom to choose new beliefs, new ways of seeing the world, and new ways of seeing yourself. And as you choose these new beliefs, you might notice how natural it feels to step into this new chapter. A chapter where trust is not a fear, but a gift that you give to yourself and others. Now feel the truth of this deep in your bones. You're safe, you're whole, you're fully capable of trusting again. And with each breath, this belief grows stronger. It anchors deeper. And as it does, you begin to feel even more empowered, even more at ease, knowing that your future is brighter. Your heart is open, and the world is full of people who can be trusted, starting with yourself.